Hi, this is Jay Baer, founder of Convince and Convert, and I'm here to solve your most important content challenges, which I understand to be that you have too many personas and thus cannot create content that is valuable long term. Well, I think you've actually answered your own question. You have too many personas. Now, let me remind you something about personas. Just because you have a distinct audience segment, just because you have an audience type that is of value to your company, that does not mean that that audience segment, that audience type, that persona has to be addressed with content. And it certainly does not mean that it has to be addressed with content commensurate with how you address other personas with content. Said more plainly, you have to have some children that you love more than other children. And that's okay. In fact, it's the right strategy. Just because an audience exists doesn't mean it's equally important. So what you have to do is sit down with the leadership of your organization and say, look, we have X number of bullets in the gun. We do not have an unlimited supply of ammunition. Consequently, we have to be selective about which of these personas really matter. And if the answer is still too many, then you just have to go at them sequentially and say, all right, if we ultimately have to address 6 personas, which in my estimation is far too many, then let's do 2 at a time. We're going to do 2 personas over 6 months and do all kinds of content for those 2 personas. And then we're going to switch to personas 3 and 4 and then switch again to personas 5 and 6. Where you get into trouble and where I think you are today is by trying to create a smattering of somewhat random content for a whole bunch of different personas at one time, because what you end up with is a situation where you're never really going deep. You're never really satiating the information needs of any of those personas. You're doing an okay job for too many people. So the answer to your question is to rip off the Band-Aid, is to say, okay, let's just do more, but do it for fewer persona types. Thanks a lot for asking. I'm Jay Baer.